Hi, I'm Adam, and this is the simple system that I use to wash my daily driver. This is what I do all the time. I'm usually a twice a week wash on the stuff I drive the most, this Jeep being the one I seem to jump in the most often. So the reason that our daily driver detail kit comes with a gallon of our wheel and tire cleaner is because the stuff you use the most, especially on something that has high performance brakes. Now, we include a refill bottle, and I went ahead and just used a Sharpie and put wheel and tire on there so that I know what it is, even though it's pretty obvious when you've got bright, crazy purple liquid in this bottle. The funnel makes it super easy to fill, so if you're not a super experienced bottle filler, boom, you just take that little funnel out, and this makes it so that you can fill that bottle in no time flat. In this here bucket, what I have are the critical wheel, tire, and wheel well cleaning tools. This is our Fender brush, right? It's what you use the wheel wells, things like that. But since I'm not using anything really nasty for a tire dressing, I'm able to actually get our tire shine off with this. So I'll use the tires and the wheel wells. Next, for the barrel of the wheels, you're gonna use the barrel brush or a wheel Woolie, okay? This is a great tool for getting the backs of the wheels perfectly clean. Then, the face of the wheel brush, the standard wheel brush. Now, this is my basic setup for cleaning wheels and tires, and I always start by cleaning wheels and tires before I put any water on the vehicle. Again, it's always critical to minimize water spots. I keep all of my brushes in a bucket. Now, I keep the bucket about halfway filled with clean water. The reason, as I go and do each wheel, I constantly am dunking the brushes into the water so that I don't carry all the dirt from wheel to wheel to wheel. I don't want to have nasty brushes. I want to have clean tools as I'm cleaning. So I keep a specific bucket just for cleaning wheels and tires. You don't need to have a specific bucket. Certainly you can do all of your wheels and tires, rinse the bucket really well, and then use that same bucket to go ahead and wash your car. After prepping the bucket, filling up my bottle with a little bit of wheel and tire cleaner, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse the wheel down real well. It's really important to make sure you don't spray wheel and tire cleaner on a dry wheel. It's a very powerful cleaner. It doesn't like temperature. In other words, if you've just been autocrossing your car, been driving like a maniac, e-braked into your driveway completely sideways, all crossed up, that's not the time to go ahead and clean your wheels and tires. Make sure that your wheels are cool to the touch, okay? Not hot at all. It's critical. And then the other thing, make sure they're wet, rinse them off really well. I always say a pressure washer is best. You remove more dirt with less time, less effort. But if you're using your standard hose, that's fine too. Just make sure that you go ahead and get them wet before you spray the chemical on. I'm gonna do the wheel wells, do the tires, brake calipers, lugs. Why do I like the wheel and tire cleaner? Well, in one product, it's extremely effective at cleaning both wheels, tires, and wheel wells. So if you're just gonna have one product and be able to knock it out, it's gonna do a great job. Does the wheel and tire clean as well as the wheel cleaner on your high performance wheels? Close. Does the wheel and tire clean as well as our tire and rubber cleaner on the rubber? Also very, very close. Is it effective? Absolutely. If you're gonna have one product, that's the one. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this on the tires too, because again, on my daily driver, I'm not pulling off any sort of store-bought high gloss crap that is really difficult to get off. I know that I'm only pulling off my tire shine, which comes off very easily. So boom, taking that off, no problem. If I have the store-bought high gloss stuff that's really oily and nasty, then I gotta use a tire brush for sure. But this guy will work for that. Always dunking the brushes. Okay, and then the wheel Woolie. I wanna make sure and always, every single wash, clean the barrels of the wheels. That's the back of the wheels. If you don't clean the backs of your wheels every single time, the brake dust will definitely become one with the backs of your wheels. It becomes really difficult to remove if you don't get it off every single round. So it's easy. The more often you do it, the less you have to scrub. And it's just a great way to keep your wheels looking great. They're black, it really shows up, just like a black car. You can tell when it's dirty. So now I can't get all the way behind the calipers with this tool. However, when I'm done doing this whole Jeep, I'll just drive it backwards like 2 feet, and then I'll be able to get all the wheel that's hiding behind this brake caliper, okay? This is our standard wheel brush, super soft bristles. It gets into those lugs pretty good, gets those spokes really nice, and it's a very effective way to get the face of your wheels looking perfect. I'm gonna head back into the back of that wheel a little bit and get on that caliper as well. So you'll notice that on my daily driver is not perfect. It's just not. Okay, I got 3 kids, I got a lot of reality getting in and out. Now, the car that I've got in the barn that comes out only on perfect, beautiful days, that pretty much stays 95% perfect all the time, this isn't the same system I'd use. This is the system that I'm gonna use on the stuff that I use all the time. It's the most simple system, the base system for doing your stuff that you drive all the time. Now here's a quick tip. If I'm doing these wheels and I've got the sun sitting right there, blasting straight into this black high gloss wheel, it's gonna water spot. So I'm either gonna use a blower or I'm gonna go ahead and spray the wheel down with some detail spray after I've done washing it before I wash the next one, because otherwise I'm gonna see water spots. I don't wanna have to come back and try to dig out all those mineral deposits. All right, so I went ahead and cleaned the wheels and the tires, and then I rinsed the bucket out all the way. And now I'm ready to go ahead and wash the vehicle. But before I do, I wanna do a little bit of prep work. I wanna make sure that my bucket's clean and filled with nice, clean water. So I got about a half a bucket. And then I'm gonna decide, okay, what soap am I gonna use? I like this Megafoam. You know, it's something that's an all-around good soap. It's got a lot of cleaning ability and it suds up like crazy, especially if you use it in a foam gun or a foam cannon. Now, in this daily driver detail kit, you gotta know that it doesn't come with a foam gun or a foam cannon, because this kit doesn't know if you have a pressure washer or if you have a standard garden hose with a standard nozzle. So if you do have either and you wanna upgrade your washing, a foam gun or a foam cannon is the way to go. Foaming your car basically eliminates water spots, and it makes it so that when you go ahead and wash your car, when it's all suds down, it reduces the amount of friction that your wash pad has going across your finish, therefore reducing scratches. At this point, I'm just gonna go ahead, we're gonna rinse this thing down, I'm gonna give it a quick foam, and then we're gonna wash it. But before we do, I want everything ready to go, because as soon as I have water on the car, I don't wanna have any potential for water spots. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use my wash pad here, standard wash pad, my Megafoam, boom, 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 just about that much soap. Okay, I'm gonna set it down here in this bucket, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it a little bit of blast. So you see that just a little bit of suds creates, or just a little bit of soap, I should say, really creates a lot of suds. And I'm gonna have the car foamed down too, so that's all good. Now, this is the side of the car that's in the shade. I'm gonna rinse the shaded part of the car first. This way, if I rinse the sunny side of the car first, the water's gonna dry instantly on a warm day like today and possibly create water spots. So when you're rinsing, just think about where that sun is, where the hottest part of the car is, and try to do the coolest part first. When I'm using the foam cannon, I go ahead and pull this little sheath back, boom, take the sprayer nozzle, take it off, take the foam cannon, make sure I pop it on there, and I just wanna make sure that this is all the way on, okay? And then before I get too crazy, I'm gonna know that this is not gonna start at the exact setting that I want it to be. I'm gonna adjust the settings. More soap, less soap, this little guy on top, and this guy right here, bigger fan, more of a stream. All right, I went extra large on the foam, so we've got a mega flocked Jeep. Here's a little tip. If you're using a pressure washer, make sure that this is all the way out when you put the tip back in. Otherwise, this becomes a projectile and goes bang at your car. So now I've got all the soap on here. Now it's time to go ahead and give it a bath. So, boom. Am I using 2 wash mitts? not for this round, not for this. I'm gonna go ahead and do the top surfaces first. Make sure I go around and get all the top surfaces, and then once I've got all the top surfaces done, I'll come back and do the lower surfaces, because that'll get my wash mitt a little dirtier. So after I've washed enough, I want to take this wash pad, I want to go back to the bucket, and I want to go all the way to the bottom of the bucket. I want to rub this thing around on the grit guard. What's a grit guard? A grit guard is this little guy. It's at the bottom of the bucket. What it does, it makes so that when you rub this wash pad across that guard, all the dirt goes through the grit guard and it goes to the bottom of the bucket. So make sure you give it a good solid rub every time that you dunk the wash pad. So you'll notice that your soap is so slippery. It really helps minimize damage when you're using a really sudsy soap. It changes the game and it makes your washing so much safer. All right, so done washing. Now, once again, I want to make sure that I rinse the shaded part of the vehicle first and then go to the sunny side. I want to minimize the chance for water spots. Also, now's the time that I think about where am I going to go ahead and pull this thing in to dry it? Can I pull it in my garage? Do I have my blower plugged in? Do I have my drying towels dried, clean, and ready to go? Those are all things that I hopefully thought about a little bit before, but if I haven't thought about it, I want to get that set up before I rinse the soap off. The soap is like a safety shield from water spots. So if there's a time to go ahead and set up your blower, get your towels ready and everything else, do it while the suds are on the car. The suds won't cause damage, your hard water will. So here's my shortcut on a great dry. Now, on my driver, I do maintain it. I ceramic coated it probably 6 or 8 months ago. It's not a complete mess. So using our CS3, I'm gonna go ahead and go around this whole vehicle quickly, especially the sunny side first. And I'm gonna give it a quick mist off, okay? And what this is gonna do, one, it's gonna make it so that it shines like crazy when I dry it, but two, it's also gonna stop the water spotting from happening. Now, when I'm drying, keep this guy in my pocket, I wanna make sure I dry the darkest part of the vehicle facing the sun the most, and I'm using our Ultra Plush drying towel, the nicest drying towel we make. Now, the quicker I am at getting this darkest parts of the car facing the sun, the least chance I get for water spotting. So this towel is so great, and it does a great job at knocking 100% of the water off with no streaks. Now, some of you might be thinking, why didn't you use a blower to blow this thing dry? Well, I could, however, I decided to wash this thing in the driveway. I don't wanna have the time to go blow it off right now. It's warm enough, it's spring, almost summer, and guess what? I need to get the water off before it starts spotting, so it's not exactly always the way I go with a blower. However, once I'm done drying it, then I wanna blow all the water out of all the nooks and crannies, and then I'll come back over it and make sure it's perfect. Now, with the CS3, sometimes you'll see it, if it dries a little bit on the finish, you might wanna sort of transition to a wetter part of your towel to get it all the way perfect on that finish. The other thing you can do is if it does dry, and you're like, gosh, I see a little remains on there, a little more CS3, and boom, that will solve the problem. So after drying off the whole rig, now, pretty much the last little touch I'm gonna do is add some tire shine to it. So if you've got big tread blocks, spray it into the block, make sure and avoid spraying your driveway. Can't stand those rookie looking stains from your 4 tire shine marks on the asphalt. So go ahead and do that. And the other thing is, I wanna make sure and try to avoid hitting my wheels when I'm doing the tire shine, okay? I don't wanna create another full-on effort since I already went ahead and wiped the wheels down. So I put this sponge right into that little, right into the tread, right into the bead where it touches the wheel, but I'm trying not to blast my wheel off, okay? Don't wanna cause unnecessary work later and have to re-clean the wheels. Boy, that looks great. Now, if you're like me, you might want your tires not quite so shiny, so once you're done hitting the tire, take your block from the face that you've been using, go to the side of the sponge and go ahead and mellow out the shine. For me, I don't like super crazy high gloss tires. I kind of like them more like this, nice and black, okay? And if I do like them super high gloss, extra in the sponge and leave it on the finish and let it dry. That was pretty dirty to looking pretty good in under 40 minutes. That includes getting all the stuff out, doing all the work, and now going around with a little touch up with the CS3 and the Borderless gray towel. Now, this is not the most in-depth detailing experience you're gonna have. This is what you're gonna do on the vehicles you drive often, using a process that's very simple, quick, and definitely not complicated. Now, if you want to get more in-depth on detailing, certainly we have way more in-depth videos. Check out adamspolishes.com. We have a whole bunch of other products, even a few of them that I use in this video, that you can get way more in-depth, way more specialized. And if you want to just get your basic daily driver up to this very basic kit, kind of all you need for this very rudimentary but outstanding job.